What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Crew 2, and in this video I will be taking a look at the Chevrolet Camaro SS Bend Edition, which this car is part of the Motor Pass, so if you guys do want it, you will need to buy the Motor Pass, but luckily, the cars in this one are definitely a lot better than we've seen in previous seasons, at least I think so anyway, and it's kind of cool seeing the Chevrolet actually get some love, because we all know I have not really seen much of anything with these cars recently. I mean, we do have the Camaro Z01 Rift Edition from a Summit a long time ago, but besides that, the 2010 really hasn't had any love whatsoever, and I honestly don't see anybody driving this car at all. So hopefully we'll actually see more people using the Camaro SS Bend Edition, because I really just don't see a lot of people using these cars at all. I remember when the Z01 came out a while ago, this car was not that good, so hopefully the Bend Edition will actually be usable. When it comes to the customization, not much can be done because the car is already heavily customized, but if you guys don't like the livery, you can remove this one or add one that someone has made to the vehicle. So I have to admit one thing, this car is actually pretty cool looking overall. I kind of like the design of it. The colors look really good. The body kit looks nice on there. Kind of like how the spoiler looks. There's also a guitar in the back, which is actually kind of weird. I did not even notice that before. Nonetheless, I have to admit, for being a Motor Pass vehicle, this one is actually pretty cool looking. We can all agree last season, I did not really like the cars in that one, to be honest, but this one definitely has better looking vehicles in it. I would say they did a pretty good job designing the cars in this Motor Pass. I am liking them so far, and the real question is, can this car actually be used in summits and or racing in general? Like, is it actually going to be good? Because like I said, I just do not see anyone using the Camaros at all unless they are actually in like a summit. I personally never drive these cars at all, so I'm kind of hoping the Bend Edition is actually pretty good, because overall this car has a very nice look to it. Anyway, let's go do an outside look and take this thing on a top speed run, and then let's take it into a street race to test it out. Now, taking an outside look at the new Camaro SS Bend Edition, we can all agree that they really did do a pretty dang good job on the new Motor Pass vehicles. I mean, I really do like the proportions of this car, how it looks, and the tires actually fit the body kit, which is pretty nice. I know the back looks a little extended there, although I could be tripping how that actually looks. But if you guys also look at it from this angle, the back window's a little bit bigger, which is kind of weird, but it's probably because there's a guitar in the back, which I really don't know why there's a guitar in the back of the car, but it still looks kind of cool having it back there. I do like the design of this thing overall. Now let's take a listen. Moving over to the interior view of this car, I gotta admit, it actually looks a lot better than I thought it was going to. The red really fits the overall look of this vehicle with how the livery looks on it, and obviously there's not a ton of detail on the screen or the odometers there. Plus, you can also see the guitar in the back if you guys actually drive in first person. Now, one thing I also wanted to show is the headlights on this car as well, because I thought this was a really cool feature. Now, obviously they are hiding right now, but you can open it up by using the horn, and or if you guys were driving at nighttime, the lights will open up, but I do think that looks very nice on there, and you can mess around with this a little bit if you really wanted to by constantly hitting the horn button. Anyway, besides that with the lights, let's go now do an acceleration test and a top speed run, because I want to see what this car can actually get to. So overall, I would say the regular Camaro really isn't the worst street car. It's just not that great. I really have not seen anybody use these cars at all. So hopefully the Bend Edition will actually get some love, honestly. I mean, I really love to see these cars used more often. I will also be trying some of these in summits and all that as well, just to test them out. So overall acceleration right now, heading to 6th gear. I'm actually not even using nitrous yet. I'm doing 210. The car's accelerating, but obviously kind of slow. I'm going to hit nitrous here in a second. See what this car can actually get to. So 242, 244. So the only issue with that is if you guys do want to get to like 244, you're probably going to go through way too much nitrous to do so, which I have noticed that with some of these vehicles. I don't really think it's worth going that high of a top speed if the car isn't like pushing itself past like 235 like this one wasn't. So on that road, 242 there, 243 is pretty good. Now, I recommend not really like pushing it all the way if you guys are going to eat nitrous like that, because you'll probably just have less of it. But I do think that's still pretty impressive. 242 miles an hour is definitely going to be up there with some of the better street cars. Obviously not the top, but definitely pretty close to like something like the Superleggera or the Porsche GT. So at least this car can actually be used competitively. Now, jumping into the street race test with the new Camaro SS Bend Edition. So there's a few things I wanted to go over with this car. The first thing is I have been testing this car out a little bit on certain races, and I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all, I'm really not that impressed with this car at the moment. I mean, I was testing it out on some races and it just doesn't feel that great. I mean, it could just be me. I might be tripping a little bit because I've been driving a lot of these cars around recently to test them out, and I do see some of the flaws and stuff with certain vehicles, but I just don't think the Camaro is that great. Now, I'm honestly not really surprised considering the regular Camaro isn't that great of a car either. Now, when I was racing that thing around a little bit, I just do not like driving it. Now, the Big Bend Edition does seem pretty decent. I love the sound of the engine. Obviously, it's a V8, so it does sound really good, but the overall handling of this vehicle is actually really good. which I've been seeing a really weird trend with the cars in this game having not that great of speed and really good handling and stability, which is kind of funny, but I have been noticing that with this vehicle, it might be in that category, unfortunately. Now, if you're looking to drive this thing around a little bit, maybe test it out and like use it in like the stories and stuff like that, this thing will be absolutely perfect for that. But if you want to use it competitively in like summits or PvP, I don't think this would be a very good option. Now, one thing I have been noticing as well with this vehicle is the overall speed, like I was mentioning before with acceleration, honestly is not that great. I actually have to use nitrous to get me up to speed a little bit, and I'm shifting it more, and I noticed the overall like coming out of turns and all that with the current speed it has just seems to be struggling. At least I've been noticing. The acceleration out of some corners and going into them I think could be a little bit better compared to other cars I have driven. I just don't think it's that great. I would even go as far as saying this right now. This might be a little crazy. The Pontiac GTO that came out in the story recently I think is way better than this car in pretty much every way. Not only does it look better, but I do think that car is a little bit faster as well in some aspects. Now, obviously, it's going to be a little slow with that 4-speed transmission, but I like how that car can actually get up to 70 miles an hour very easily. This car seems to struggle a little bit with acceleration, even more than the Infiniti, what I have been noticing anyway, which is kind of weird because you think it'd be a lot faster, but it really isn't, which is kind of odd to me. But I would definitely say this car could be used on a lot of things. I just would recommend trying it out a little bit and testing it to see if you like it. I'm personally not a big fan of the Camaros, and I really don't think any of these cars are actually that good. Even the ZL1 Rift Edition from the Summit a while ago is just not that great. I know that car got a lot of hate when it came out back in the day because it just wasn't fast in any way, which is kind of funny to me how the car's actually like that. You think it'd be really good because it's like a really high reward, but it just isn't. Now we have a Motor Pass vehicle here that's not that great. Actually, I would even say this as well. The BMW i8, which I did a video on that car very recently, I would say that car's actually better than this one as well. I don't think the Camaro is really that good overall, and I would say the i8 is definitely a better option if you guys want to pick one of those. I would definitely recommend that car over this one. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the Camaro SS Bend Edition in the comments below, and here are my settings.